Let's take a look at some of the stories making the headlines in Nigerian newspapers. Joining me is Chris K. Ndengwandu, CEO, CKN News. Chris, good morning. It's good to have you join me now.
It's good to have you this rainy morning.
Exactly.
Morning.
It's really a rainy morning. Okay, let's begin with the News Direct newspaper now. News Direct says 21 years of democracy, performance in agriculture, manufacturing, and other sectors are weak. LCCI, as the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is saying this. Performance in manufacturing, and 8 other sectors are weak 21 years after democracy. All right, that's News Direct. Daily Times is next now. Ango Abdullahi's NEF, that's the Northern Elders Forum, knocks Buhari over insecurity, demands urgent tightening of security in the north. NEF, mere irritants, featherweight presidency replies. Okay, it's a back and forth there. From the Daily Times, let's go to the Blueprint newspaper now. The Blueprint says APC governors move to rescue Obaseki. We're watching. The PDP is replying. And Obaseki wiki meet, and Edo APC faction wants governor expelled. All right, it's still the issues from Edo State there, the political crisis there is heightening. All right, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says Buhari orders probe into State House shooting, crisis extension of family squabble, and Aisha right to protect husband. Professor Sadiq is saying this. Okay, this is a fallout from the shooting at the State House a few days ago that really led to lots of controversy and apprehension in some quarters, but certainly nothing to worry about from what the government has said. The national economy is next now. National economy says local crude refining, food import substitution to spur growth and strengthen the naira. Dangote exports clinker, boosts federal government's forex drive. Okay, that's what you see on the national economy. Then the last paper we're looking at now is the Leadership newspaper. Leadership newspaper, apprehension over spending of COVID-19 funds in states. CSOs call for accountability, will account for every kobo spent. Governors are replying. And federal government to inject 2.3 trillion naira into economy to tackle post-COVID-19 recession. And Saudi Arabia considers cancelling 2020 Hajj. And, you know, a lot of riders there on the news, on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. Okay, let me bring Chris Ndengwandu here to comment on the story on the front line of the News Direct. News Direct says 21 years of democracy, performance in agriculture, manufacturing, and 8 others are still weak. The LCCI, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is coming up with this, and they're reporting that we're still not where we're supposed to be. Chris, I wonder what you have monitored and how you can comment on this.
Well, Mike, I totally agree with LCCI on that. You know, since 1999, we've always depended on our only source of external revenue, more like, which is oil, which accounts to close to about 80 to 90% of our exports in terms of earnings. And that in itself has come with some serious challenges, because we tend to be tied to the international market whenever there's a drop and in oil prices, just as we are finding ourselves in the current situation where we have to rejig our budget, national budget, almost about 2 or 3 times within the past 6 months because of the fluctuation in the oil sector. So I tend to agree with them, and we've always been saying this, that the way forward for us is to diversify our economy. Yes, successive governments have tried to do that, especially the last government of Goodluck Jonathan and present one of President Buhari, where they try to focus more on agriculture, but we seem not to be getting to where we ought to be, because we still likely depend on subsistence farming, which is a problem, instead of mechanized farming. In the United States and other parts of the world, mechanized farming is the in thing. So if we continue to retain sustained farming, that will not help. But we are doing a bit better in the area of rice production. Our import of rice in these past few years has really gone down, and the Nigerians have seen the sense in eating our localized rice, the Ofada rice, and the Abakaliki rice, as we call them. And Nigerians will take much delight in relishing that for us. The basic thing for us is to be able to sustain a national sustainable growth in that sector. And then if we're able to sustain that nationally, then we can start thinking of exporting some of this rice to either our West African neighbors or other parts of the country.
All right. Now, Chris, you talked about the issue of export. We have done this before. It's not like Nigeria is new to the issues of agriculture. This has been our lifestyle. This has been what we majored in and earned hard foreign exchange. In fact, most of the signature projects that we have and infrastructure we have in this country are built all from proceeds from agriculture. And I wonder why we are not focusing on this, especially when it comes to states that have a comparative advantage over, agriculture because of their fertile land or the weather they have or the texture or the climate or whatever around them. I wonder why states are not taking advantage of this in mass or large scale.
Yes, Mike, rightly put, as you said, in the past, we've been major exporters of cocoa, major exporters of palm oil. We've also been major exporters of even groundnuts in the past. But the problem, as I said before, is the situation where we find ourselves where every month, all the state governments do is just go to Abuja, share the revenue, go back to their state, squander them where necessary, and just do one or two things. So everybody depends solely on what they get from Abuja, and that is where the problem is. The various state governments have to start getting creative. And that also has to do to a large extent on our constitution, Mike, until we be able to make some level of adjustment in our constitution, where we can give the states the right to be able to exploit the various minerals within their states and probably pay certain revenue to the federal government.
Yeah, but Chris, they say that he who is faithful to a little, more will be added. If issues like agriculture and manufacturing and elementary things that are on the concurrent list where the state and federal government can adjudicate on, the states are not taking advantage of it, what else can they do? Even if mining is removed from the exclusive list and put on the concurrent list where states, or even on the residual list where states only can adjudicate on, what is the assurance that they can handle it?
Mike, there are two-level approach to it. We have the short term and the long term. The short term for us is just as stated in that of agriculture, but we are also going to look at sustainable long term. Then we're also looking at those various minerals across the states. I agree with you that most of our state governments have been paying lip service to agriculture. What some of them just go to local government and just gather rice from local farmers, put them in bags, put them in storehouses, and go on camera to say that they have. Some states are already doing well. If you know what KB did with its collaboration with Lagos State in the area of rice, you see that that is a very good one. But it's doing well also in the area of rice as well. I expect that every state should have its niche. It doesn't have to be rice. There are some states that have particular. Benue State, for one, is very good in yam. I remember when my dad was living in Benue in those days in Yandeb, when I was very small. And the kind of rice, of the tuber of yams can come from Benue. If properly harnessed, can feed the whole of Nigeria. And we're also talking about other areas like we have the animal husbandry, not just we're talking of animal husbandry. The cows can be exported if we be able to harness them very, very well. We can be exporting beef to other parts of West Africa and even African countries. So there are so many. But the problem is that our governors are just looking for the quick fix and easy money, and are not ready to invest in most of these infrastructures that will yield much benefits to not only to the states but also to their people. So definitely, agriculture is the way to go. But beyond that, we still have to look at areas where we can export the various mineral resources that God has endowed us with, especially in all these diasporic states in Nigeria that also have a mineral that you can export or exploit to use. So we really need to look at that. But as I agree with you that we should start with the little that we have, and the governors should just put on their thinking cap. I personally feel that, and I'm one of those that continue to pray that this oil should just dry up so that we can face, look at our challenges and make this really.
All right. We've heard that comment from a lot of Nigerians. The oil should just go so we can become creative again and all of that. But the point is, nature or God, as the case may be, has endowed Nigeria. So whatever it is, Nigeria will keep reaping from the benefit of those. But let's bring it back to the issue of the private sector that everyone talks about. The point there is, like they say, government sometimes is not a good businessman, and government can create an enabling environment and create the oversight function while allowing private sector to move in to actually ensure that there's value for money in that regard. We've not really seen so many movement into agriculture and all of that when it comes to private sector participation.
Yes, and funny enough, that's a very terrible one, because I know that the CBN, in some of its policies, that make it much easier and make it a bit more liberal for private sectors to participate in agriculture. In fact, I also know that the Bank of Industry, at the time, just like CBN, we also raised loans to individuals and private organizations to go into farming. But the problem is that it is much easier than said. When you say you're giving out loans and you're giving when you see the collaterals that you have to put down, and also look at the interest, what do you call it now? Yes, that you're going to pay on some of those loans. Yes, most of the time you see the CBN saying that they are free, tax-free loans or loans without much interest. I don't think that's the problem. So some people have had serious challenges where they take up loans from the banks. At the end of it, they're not able to meet up at certain instances. Their properties are seized and the rest of them. So people are very skeptical on that. But with that as we must also commend some organizations, which I don't want to start naming now, who have also gone full into agriculture. I know, for example, like the Dangote Group are doing very well in that area, Nigerian flour mills and the rest of them. Some of them are really growing. And if you look at the tomato paste industry, we are getting a bit sufficient in that too, whereby we now have most companies in Nigeria producing tomato paste. We don't need to start importing all the so-called Derrick and none of the others from outside. So they are doing better. We can still do more. Okay. I think more is to be given to them to be able to do this.
Okay, we have to leave you here now. Chris K. Ndingwandu, thank you very much for your time on the program. We appreciate you. Get into the headlines now, see what the papers are saying in Nigeria. I have with me on Skype Chris K. Ndingwandu. He's the CEO of CKN News. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining us on TVC Breakfast this morning.
Thank you very much, Mike. Good morning.
Great. All right. Let's begin with the News Direct newspaper. 21 years of democracy, performance in agriculture, manufacturing, 8 other sectors are weak. LCCI is saying this. Then from there, let's go to Daily Times. Ango Abdullahi's NEF knocks Buhari over insecurity. NEF is the Northern Elders Forum, okay, and demands urgent tightening of security in the north. And the NEF, mere irritants, further weights, presidency replies on that. And we have, from there, let's go to the Blueprint newspaper. APC governors move to rescue Obaseki. We're watching at Obaseki Wike meet, and Edo APC faction wants governor expelled. Okay, I guess we'll talk about this shortly when with Chris Kende when the discussion resumes. Now, Daily Trust is next now. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. Buhari orders probe into State House shooting, crisis extension of families squabble. Aisha rights to protect husband. Professor Sadiq is saying this. Okay. From there, let's go to the national economy. Local crude refining, food import substitution to spur growth, strengthen the naira, and Dangote exports clinker and boosts federal government's forex drive. Okay, that's what you see on the national economy. Leadership newspaper is next now. Apprehension over spending of COVID-19 funds in states. And CSOs call for accountability. But we'll account for every kobo, says the governors. They're replying to that there. Okay, and has some other multiple riders there on those stories and even more on the front page of Leadership. Okay, let's go to Chris. Let me bring you to the case on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper that says APC governors move to rescue Obaseki. We are watching Obaseki. That's the PDP saying that Obaseki we can meet. Edo APC faction wants governor expelled. Now, this draws our attention back to what we used to say and analyze sometimes, that build up to elections in Nigeria is still like a war. 21 years of democracy, yet we're still having it the same way it has been in a very crude form. What do you make of these developments?
Well, Mike, that's the beauty of democracy. People always have their say, the divergent interests. People will always have their interest. What I know in politics is that there's no permanent friend, or you have just permanent interest. So what is playing out in the state is not new. We've seen that in the past, in most of the states in the past elections since 1999. And but the problem is when I read the statement of the APC governors trying to rescue the Edo State governor, Obaseki. I don't know what they meant by that, because the screening committee already submitted its report, which has been accepted and adopted by the NWC. So, are they going to ask the NWC to reverse the decision on Governor Obaseki? But the interesting part also is that Governor Obaseki is not resting on his. He's not resting. He's on the move. Yesterday, he was in Port Harcourt to see Governor Wike. From there, he moved to Akwa to see Governor Udom Emmanuel. So many believe that this is just the prelude to he's probably moving to the opposition party of PDP. So for me, I think he has been ruffled in APC. The best bet for him now is to find an alternative platform to actualize his governorship ambition later this year. So,
all right. Now, the point there is, Chris, the point there is some political watchers, especially from within Edo State, are already saying that his visit to Governor Wike and Governor Udom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom State amounts to anti-party activity already, and calling for his, for him to be expelled from the party. But the point there is that governors can visit each other anytime. It's not clear yet. His visit to Governor of Rivers State could just be issues of state matters, and also to Udom Emmanuel. What do you make of this anyway?
Like when we were growing up in primary school, the first part of what we learned was, he that is down, he has no fall. You remember that saying vividly.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, Governor Obaseki seems to be down. That is the least he can have at this moment. So the way for him is to either to go up or remain down. And as I say in a local palace, if a small boy falls down, if a little boy falls down, he looks back. But when an old man falls down, he just move forward and continue moving. So for him, it's more of survival now. So the people he has been meeting are his fellow governors from the South South, which is not a problem for me. But if he's going to be meeting with governors also, as you already said, he could as well be meeting with the APC governors. But for now, he'll be meeting his brothers from the South South. But as I said, the issue is going to be a royal battle. Governor Obaseki is not going to find it easy when it gets to PDP, because they're already having infrastructure on ground. They have structures on ground. There are some contestants already on ground. How he's going to make his way to be able to pick up a governorship ticket under the PDP is what is going to be seen. But as I said, the option for him now is to look for a level playing ground where you can be able to actualize it. But let us also look at it from the point of, some people have already said that the man is down and out. But in politics, 24 hours is just too long a time. Nobody knows what can happen. Anything can happen within 24 hours. And don't forget, it's also the incumbent governor of Edo State, and they still have a lot at stake. But the APC seems to be playing the same game it played some time ago during the last election, where he lost some vital states, which ordinarily it would have won. There have been so many allegations as to what happened. That's why Governor Obaseki was dropped. Some of those allegations have also been refuted by certain institutions like the University of Ibadan and the rest of them. But this is quiet politics. And we're going to see how it's going to play out in the next few days and weeks to come.
Oh, all right. Now, another issue that everyone is talking about on the table of ideals more is the issue of ideology and entrenching the best practices in political parties. Now, when it comes to decamping a move or defecting from one political party to another, certainly no laws are against that. But the freedom to defect easily is also making the political parties not to entrench their ideological base. What do you make of this? When people are not loyal to the party, no matter whatever happens, they are not loyal to the end. If they don't see it going their way, they move to another political party. It's not just even about the Edo case. I'm talking about politics generally in Nigeria.
Yes, I agree with you. One of the greatest problems we've had since 1999 is party indiscipline, where members of political parties just jump from one party to another at their will. But also have to look at it from the point of injustice. If you think that you've not been as a party, because you've not been given the right atmosphere or have not been given the opportunity to actualize your dream, which at times is not just due to that you are not qualified enough, but just because certain people feel that they are the owners of the party, they can do whatever they like, then you have no other option than to move. But don't forget that there have been some landmark judgments about the campaign. I know that there was a judgment that was given some few years back during the National Assembly, where it was said that if you move from a particular party where you were elected from and move to another, you lose your seat. I don't know how well we are implementing those laws, as it were. But the fact is also that we continue to have this, where we have a position by certain leaders on the political parties, where the people are not given their free will to be able to select or elect those who should be representing them. We have some individuals who just wake up against all the support of all the members of the political parties. We decide that this is who I want, this is the person to go, this is the person to represent, and always see the fallout. It has happened in several states where within a period, once the governors are elected, they just start fighting their so-called godfathers. It's happened in Abia State, happened in Enugu State, it had happened in Kano and so many other states. And this is what we are experiencing now. The best bet is for us to be able to allow this democracy to thrive, where individuals should be based, selection should be based on merit, not just on the caprice and the wills of certain individuals who feel that they are godfathers and can determine what will happen within a political party. If we don't do that, we continue to face these challenges here every time.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll have to leave you here now. Chris Kendengwandu, thank you for your time on the program.